Let me see if we can get a little music playing here. Well, this is kind of epic. We got some epic music playing today. All right, so I'm joined today with my new friend, Andrea Salamanca, who is a senior at Rebus. And we just met about 4 minutes ago, and we're already close friends. So we're going to talk a little bit about being a senior here at Rebus this year in the second semester. So welcome, Andrea. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I'm above average, I think, today, which is always a good thing. You're a senior this year. You're involved in a couple things. Tell us a little bit about your senior year and what you've done here in your 4 years at Rebus.
Mostly like sports have been like my best thing at Rebus. I mean, making new friends and having new experiences and like the coaches, teachers, like everything at Rebus is amazing.
Well, that's good. That's a pretty good attitude. I won't lie to you guys. I thought today when I was sort of like prepped about having somebody come in and talking, somehow, somewhere, someone said like, we're going to talk about senioritis. I don't know how this is going to go, but Andrea said, you're really not experiencing any of that sort of thing. You're just like, you're happy with your 4 years here. What are your plans after this year? Like we have a few more months of being in high school, and then where do we go from there?
From there, I'm just thinking like pursuing my life, my dreams. I've always wanted to be a nurse. Working with kids has also been like a really big thing. Like since I was little, like I love, like even at like family functions, like I love like just carrying a baby or like playing with the kids. And I feel like that's my calling, to be like a pediatric nurse.
I mean, that's pretty awesome that you kind of have that all sort of figured out, and you have a path, and you have a focus, and you kind of feel like your purpose, that's your purpose, right? That's your path. And I think that's one of the things that is really important to people. I don't think it's not a bad thing to change your mind, but it is important to always have some direction, always like wake up and say, I'm heading this way. And then if you decide you want to change things up, you could always change things up. I heard a rumor that you were actually in preschool at Rebus. Is that true? You were a preschool student here?
Yes, that's true.
I would say like I've spent a long time in Rebus because I went to high school here. I was not in preschool, but I thought I've been here for a long time, but you've been here since you were like a toddler. So tell us a little bit about that experience of, what you remember from being in the preschool program. And then you went on to, as we were in high school, you were part of that as a teacher in the preschool, right? So tell us a little bit about how that all worked out for you.
So I actually didn't really remember that I was in the Rebus preschool program until I walked into class one day and Miss Glenn was like, Andrea. And because my sister was also in this program, and she like recognized me and she showed me a picture and she was like, you were like my first like kind of like experiment kind of. I was like her first class, and she was like, it's crazy you're back. And it's like, it's been so long.
Well, yeah, you're walking in and you're like one of the teachers, and it's kind of like, oh wait, that time does fly. So I guess you're bringing a whole new spin to the term "once a Ram, always a Ram." You've been a Ram since you were like what, 4? You guys are like four
or
4 years old. That's pretty great, and that's sort of the direction you're going. So you want to work with kids. You're thinking of nursing, so you're thinking pediatric nursing, and then what schools are on your list as far as like where you're going to go to pursue your career in nursing?
I think like my top college right now would be NIU, but I'm still not committed. There's still like Iowa, Carthage, Memphis. There's so many like colleges like in the mix that I could possibly go to.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of great nursing programs around, and you want to, have you visited the schools on your list, any of them yet?
No, but I do have like some visits like planned out. Like in February, I'm supposed to go visit NIU. So I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, I think one of the things about going to school and going to college and picking a college, once you go, you kind of know. I feel like it's important for you to visit the school and see the campus and kind of get a feeling of what it feels like to be there. I think those college visits are really important because, nowadays with the internet and everything being online, it's like you can sort of like see photos of everything and you can kind of like fill out applications, but never really seeing it. And I think when you land there, you just kind of have a feeling like, oh, this is it. This is the one, this is, whatever it might be. It's just kind of a thing that hits you. So, so you're going to visit NIU, and then are you thinking about stopping in on any of those other schools? Or are you thinking, I'm going to check this out. This is my first choice. If it seems good, I'm going to go for it.
I think that's like yeah, like if I feel like it feels like home, like I'm just gonna like pay my admissions like right there. But I also did really want to see Iowa because Iowa, like my dad has like been talking about Iowa ever since like I was little, and I was just like, maybe I'll check it out, and if it feels like good to me, then maybe I'll like go to Iowa.
And do you have anyone else in your family who's attended college before you, or are you the first one? Are you the one that's going to be like, I'm the first?
Well, my dad, he went to 2 years of like community college, and then he went to the military. My mom had partial like college, but she didn't really like finish. And then my sister, she went, I think, a year and a half to Moraine, and then she moved to Panama to pursue nursing.
Well, that's pretty amazing. That's like an adventure, right? That's I was always, when I was starting out, I was thinking, after Revis, I was going to pack up my bags and move to California and go to school, not knowing anyone in Southern California. There was like a particular school that I wanted to go to. That was like my only shot. I'm like, I'm going to go there, right? And then I didn't get accepted there. It was like a very competitive program. And at the time, I remember in high school, being a senior, I was like, that's it. I'm cooked. Like now I have nothing. Like, what am I going to do? And I'm going to stay home. So I felt like I lost something, but like in hindsight, I feel like that path not working out probably happened for a reason. And it ended up putting me on the path where we're here today, because I wouldn't be here today. I would not have been a high school teacher. I ended up graduating from Illinois State, which is a long way from Southern California. But I feel like everything kind of happens for a reason. And like I said, as long as you're on a path, it doesn't matter if you change your mind or you switch. In terms of the nursing situation, what's your experience with that outside of being like loving kids and having a passion for helping people?
I feel like growing up, like due to my grandma, I've always been like in a hospital. I feel like the feel around like all the loving nurses that like helped my grandma get better. It was just like, oh, I want to help people like they help others.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I know a lot of nurses, but I could never get past I don't know. There's just certain things where I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want to be around that. Like I have that kind of like, aversion towards blood and stuff. And I don't know, I feel uncomfortable when I'm in hospital. I guess it depends on what your experience is. But when you're talking about, are you talking about delivery nurse, or are you talking about like pediatric care, like kids that are already that are sick, or what sort of field are you looking for in the pediatric nursing?
I feel like just working in like a clinic and like having just kids come to me like for checkups or like shots. And I feel like that would be good, because I have thought about like just being a regular nurse for like older people, but I think I would rather work with kids.
Yeah, and I also think that once you get to in a program, you get to experience different things, and you see different sides. And the nurses that I know, some of them went in thinking that they were going to want to do a thing, and then after getting to experience all the different floors in a hospital, they were like, nope, this is it. Kind of like what we were saying with like visiting a campus and just knowing that you're there. Like I think you just kind of you fall into it, but. It's awesome that you have a direction and you have an idea of what you want to do.
I'm kind of excited to see like where the next chapter of my life will take me. And I don't know, like I'm just so excited. But at the same time, like I'm so sad to leave Revis because I've literally grown up here.
Yeah, I mean, that pretty much sums it up for a lot of us. What's your favorite subject in school? I want to guess and say I know what it is, but you're going to tell me.
Can you guess first?
Sure. I'm going to take a guess and say that your favorite subject is science.
You're correct.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Am I right? Well, there's the nursing thing, but I thought my second guess was going to be like the whole like FCS and the child care stuff, because that's the other side, like being around the kids and whatnot.
I mean, that was fun, but I think my favorite class right now would be anatomy. I think it's so like fascinating, like learning like all the bones in the body and like all the systems and all the atoms you have and what happens like when you get cut. Like it's just so interesting and I love it.
Yeah, I actually had anatomy here when I was at Revis, and I did not want to do anything in the medical field. And I looked around and everybody in my class wanted to be nurses and doctors. And then there was me. I wanted to be an artist, and I thought that being in a class like that would help me learn anatomy so that I could draw and paint people. Yeah, I was wrong. But it was cool. It was interesting, but it ended up being like not my favorite thing in the world. But I know it's a super challenging class too, isn't it?
It is. It is a lot of like memorizing and just like you need to be focused to be able to pass the class.
Absolutely. And then what do you guys have like a special field trip, or do you guys visit any hospitals, or is there anything like that included in that class so that you can kind of get an idea of what it's like to work in the medical field?
So we do have a field trip. Like I think it's coming up maybe in like April. We go see, well, she was trying to get it in like an actual hospital so we can see open heart surgery. So that would like show us like what it looks like live instead of just like a video.
My father just had open heart surgery like right after Thanksgiving.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Well, I mean, he's fine now. He's good. But it was kind of like, this is a thing that you have to have done like right now. It's like, you're not waiting. You're in a hospital and you have this done. And I wasn't there to watch it or anything, but it was really interesting seeing how they set up for that sort of thing. And then when you know someone that's going to do that, have that process, and you haven't learned about it in school, and you're like, wait, what? You're going to do what now? You're going to crack them open, and you're going to like bypass this. I was like, it was almost like, is this even possible? Like, is this like a real thing? But they've been doing these sort of surgeries for a really long time, and here, I guess I did not know this, but my dad was in Christ Hospital, and Christ Hospital is one of the best heart centers in the country. So I guess if you're going to have that process, you want to probably hope you live in an area where they have really good doctors giving you what you need, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you are involved in a couple sports here at Revis. Why don't you tell us about what those are and your experience playing sports as an athlete here?
So my fall sport is volleyball. I would say that my favorite experience was beating Raptor Nation. It was like a tournament, and it was like, they weren't really rivals. We like worshiped them because they were like so good. And then we get into this match in this tournament and they win the first set. And then we come back the second set. It's like we're crushing it. And then we're just like all hype. And they were like, we were all getting like so excited. And then we like beat them. And we were just all like stunned because we were like, oh my God. Like they probably think that we're making fun of them. But like we literally worshiped them. And it was like, oh my God. And that's when we got first place in that tournament.
You went into that as like the underdog for sure. Like everyone's expecting the other team to win. And then you start to pull into a situation where you're winning and then they start to panic and you guys are getting like super excited because you're not supposed to win. And then it was just too much. Like they couldn't come back from that.
Yeah. Their coach was actually getting pretty mad because they were losing.
And the expectation was that they win. And when you go into a situation like that as the underdog, like the other team has all the pressure. Like you're already expected to lose, right? So if you're winning, you're like, it's all good. And for them, they're like, we're not supposed to lose. And then they start getting crazy. And then you also are on the bowling team in the winter.
Correct.
So tell us a little bit about bowling and how's this season going?
Bowling, our season actually is really going really good. We have won like a lot of matches, and our like best thing this season was beating Richards. Richards is like one of the top schools in our conference, and we beat them by, I think, if I'm not mistaken, like 200 pins.
I had Jess on the podcast, and this was before the bowling season started. And I remember Jess saying the goal was to beat Richards. So you guys ended up beating Richards?
Yeah, we went against them, I think, last week, and we won against them, but then we also lost to Shepherd, which was pretty hard.
Oof. So you were you were gunning for Richards, and then you ended up losing to Shepherd.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it happens, but still exciting that you got that nice win. Ending out your senior year, where are you at with that?
I think that I want to like enjoy the rest of the time I have at Revis, like prom. Like I'm so excited that it's downtown because I went last year and it was really fun. But I feel like it's going to be so much better, like downtown, like the better scenery. And then I feel like also focusing on college, but still enjoying my time here because people told me like before getting to high school, they were like, it's going to go by so fast. And I'm like, no, it's not. I feel like a blink of an eye. I'm a senior already about to graduate.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And I think that that's a great attitude to take into your senior year and really a great attitude to take into all your high school experiences. Don't always be looking forward. Stay in the moment and be present and enjoy what you're doing and really have experiences now because today is the only thing really that's within your control. You can't control what's going to happen tomorrow and down the road. And we like to have a plan and look out on the road, but we also don't want to get ahead of ourselves because it starts to cause a lot of anxiety and a lot of things. You start to create fear of things that may not even ever happen. So if you can stay in the moment and really just enjoy and be present and create relationships with the people that you're around, and I think by the sound of it, you're doing a great job at that.
Yeah, I actually I was so excited coming into senior year, even though right now I don't feel like a senior. I feel like it's definitely going to hit me. Like maybe when I'm going to like pay admissions or for like college, I'm going to be like, oh my God, I'm graduating.
I think it tends to happen right around the spring. So it's just around the corner, right around prom. When prom hits, it's kind of like, what is happening? I appreciate you coming out and talking to me today, and good luck to you. And hopefully you can come back and visit from Northern and tell us a little bit about experience in the nursing program there. I mean, if that happens. And if not, if you change your mind, that's all good too. But I appreciate you, and have a great rest of the year, and good luck.
Thanks for having me on the podcast. I think this was actually pretty fun.
Well, that's cool. I appreciate it. Let's put a little music to take us out. I don't know. Somehow I hit the button. It's the epic one. Yeah, we like that cool one. All right, everybody. That's all for this one. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.